The Morning Dump from Hurrdat Sports with Andrew Rogers and Damon Benning.
Hey, it's the Morning Dump from Hale Varsity Club. Andrew Rogers here. DB actually out today. You won't hear his voice. I'm taking the dump solo unless Shaner's holding my hand. Maybe we're taking the dump together. There'll be his voice a little bit later on. Damon under the weather. But we'll still dump those extra thoughts that we talk about on Coffee and Cream in the morning in just a few. I don't want to say much more than that, but we'll be on Hale Varsity Radio here soon, and that's the perfect time to talk a little bit right there of topics and various things like that. Now, one of the biggest things on my mind is the news coming out of Auburn. The firing of Bryan Harsin and what that does for the coaching search going forward. And a lot of people may not look too much into that right now, especially Nebraska fans, because they want Mickey to still have a chance. They want Mickey to be given the opportunity to pave his own road. There's still some time left to see what promise and delivery we can get out of Mickey Joseph. He's done some great work recruiting. There's no doubt there. They have their hands full without Casey Thompson, and now it's the thought of who starts at quarterback. Is it Logan Smothers? Is it Chubba Purdy? And does Mickey Joseph have to insert himself into the conversation and say, hey, I want it to be Logan Smothers? Or does Mark Whipple keep going the direction he wants to go, which is that pass-heavy type offense, and Chubba Purdy is the better thrower out of those two? That's a conversation as we further get into this weekend's game against Minnesota. Now, to continue the conversation, though, the direction of Bryan Harsin and what that does and how that affects the national coaching search for Nebraska. You take a look at what Auburn can actually offer, and that's a winning national championship winning program within the last 10 to 12 years. That's not something Nebraska can offer to the next head coach. You're also offering the ability to play in the SEC. So I'm not saying you take a Lane Kiffin from the SEC and then he moves over to Auburn. That's a lateral move. I don't see that happening. You could take a Lane Kiffin to Nebraska and make that make sense in really any scenario. But say at the end of the day, the very end of the day, you take Matt Campbell's name and you say, hypothetically, this is all hypothetical, Matt Campbell is the best coach out there. He's the best one out there. Will he choose Nebraska, Big Ten? Will he choose Auburn, SEC? Lately, you would probably venture to say that a coach would rather participate in the SEC, one of the best top conferences there, just because not only level of competition is stand out, and don't get me wrong, there's some dogs in the Big Ten, but there's also a ton of money that gets pumped into the SEC. Now, I know the counter-argument to that is there's a ton of money that gets pumped into Nebraska's program. So, you look at two level-headed programs, but when you take a look into just overall success over the last 20-ish years, you'll find that maybe Auburn has more than Nebraska. You also can factor in, maybe, hey, I'm a little scared to coach at Nebraska after Bo Pelini got fired after numerous winning seasons.
Or whatever the hell it is.
Or whatever the hell it is, right, Bo?
Damn right, yes. I am embarrassed.
But you take a look at now the position that Auburn offers. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a lot of competition to grab the top-name guy. If you're not sticking with Mickey, I wouldn't be shocked if Auburn has a leg up on Nebraska. Now, where Nebraska has the advantage, in my opinion, I'm not saying like the War Eagles are and the fan base down in Auburn isn't great, but Nebraska fans have shown over time that they will still show out no matter what the product on the field looks like. And to a coach, that's enticing because nobody's going to turn around a program year one. Brett Bielema, we're seeing that happen in year two. And that's kind of the expectation level that Nebraska's going to have if you grab a national a coach from a different program, going through the national coaching search and bring him to Nebraska. That's going to be the expectation. But I think you could still max that out at 3 years. I don't know if it's the 4-year conversation anymore. With what we witnessed with Scott Frost, completely different example. But I think now you have the expectation of a coach needs to make it work in 2 to 3 years. And if that can't happen, then what do you do? There's more retooling that needs to be done in Nebraska's program. There's more that needs to be done, and it may take longer than 2 to 3 years. But we've seen coaches turn around programs quickly, at least lately. And that's the expectation that Nebraska fans will have, and that's the expectation boosters will have, and that's the expectation this team will have. Because these guys don't want to go out on the field every week and get obliterated or lose or get embarrassed in front of their home team. And I'm not saying that happened last week, but nobody likes to lose. So the expectation is no matter who's at the helm, whether it's Mickey Joseph or whether it's another big name, this program deserves better and quickly. It's been a long journey, but now the time in the road has come for something better to happen. There's just going to be a lot of competition, though, competing with the SEC and the Big Ten. I know it's going that Power 2 direction, and a coach can go either way, and a lot of it's money-driven, a lot of it's program-driven, a lot of it's win-driven. It's where that top coach is going to want to go at the end of the day, and Auburn inserts themselves into that competition in a big way.
So is it 2 to 3 years? Is that the window? That's what you're seeing
That's
right now?
what I'm seeing. It's unfair. I'm taking a small sample size. Is that
the national window?
I don't think.
Across the board?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't want to talk too deep because really I only did I look at what Brett Bielema did at Illinois in 2 years, and I'm thinking that's what the Big Ten, if he could do that in the Big Ten at Illinois, somebody can do that at Nebraska.
Well, and we saw it on Twitter a lot over the last year that Frost was there too long. I mean, it was too much time was given to him. So 2 to 3 years is probably the new.
It's the new window.
It's
in my
probably
opinion.
the new window.
Well, so how long did it take for Dabo Swinney to get it to work down at Clemson? Let's take a look at his coaching record. I would say yearly. That would probably be the best way to put it. So if we take a look at Dabo Swinney started at Clemson in 2008. Is that when he started as the head coach, right?
Welcome to the family.
Thanks. Dabo Swinney. Head coaching record is probably what I should type in overall. Dabo Swinney is and he's one of the best, and he will go down in history as one of the best. And he started as the interim head coach in 2008. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I had that correct. In 1 year, Shaner.
Yes.
So he went 4-3 when he took over as an interim coach. Still went to a bowl game. Next year, 9-5. Then he went 6-7. And then it went 10-4, 11-2, 11-2, 10-3, 14-1, 14-1, 12-2. And that didn't even follow with the 15-0, 14-1, 10-2, 10-3, 8-0 this season.
119, 120.
You give him 2 years, and on that third year, Shane, he had a 10-win season.
Batman, could it be?
Is that a possibility here?
In regards to what?
At Nebraska.
Dabo Swinney? Or just the turnaround so quickly?
The turnaround so quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Dabo Swinney. I think so. There's a lot of promise for this program. There's so much buy-in. There's so much that you can do now recruiting-wise with NIL deals and the work through the transfer portal. It just takes the right coaching staff to do it. And I'm not saying Mickey Joseph isn't that right guy. He needs to be involved in one way, shape, or form. But maybe it's the Lane Kiffin of the world. It's the Matt Campbell of the world. It's the Matt Rule, who I still think should be high top 3 on this list. Matt Rule deserves that much attention. And with the contract that he has with the Panthers, think about maybe a lower-ended contract that you could get here at Nebraska, and then you maybe pay some coordinators some extra money. You get a lot of money there. So I just think there's going to be a lot of competition. But, yes, turnaround time for me, max at 3 years. You can't
Touchdown, Nebraska!
You just can't go any deeper anymore. At this stage of the game, the fans want more, and they want it quickly. And if you get a guy that has a winning track record, also a program builder and all that jazz, pooled into one resume, that's something that needs to deliver within 3 years.
Well, across the board, you get it, whether it be donors, fans, you get it to be players. I mean, 2 to 3 years does seem to be the max, and they're showing you that if you're not getting it done, they're going to do something else, or they're going to want somebody else, or they're going to effort something else to get it done. So that's probably what you got. I mean, you're going to have to get it done in 2 to 3 years. I mean, if you don't, you're out.
And there's no telling what direction Nebraska will go because there is still time left in the season. But you can expect that Trev's thinking about, hey, how do I make this work in 3 years? Who's the best person to make this work by year 3? And he's a smart guy, and I have full faith in Trev and to bringing in the best coach to lead this program.
He got it!
Or retaining the current coach to lead this program. I have a lot of faith in him. Now, let's have some fun because, I don't want to just talk all sports by myself, Shaner. I want to give the people maybe some more entertainment than just this conversation today. You want to play a little Would You Rather?
So you would rather have some fun than just talk sports?
Well, let's talk sports and have some fun. You can even toss around some Would You Rather sports questions. Just don't do Would You Rather have Mickey or somebody else.
Nice. Okay, well, let's throw a couple of them around here. Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future?
Oh. 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future? Probably 150 years into the future. Can I only do that once, though? Is it a one-time thing, 10 minutes one time, or is it 10 minutes all the time, 150 all the time, or one time?
And what would you be looking for 150 years in the future?
I think I would just want to know.
Because there'd be no benefit for you to know
10 minutes in advance.
150 years in advance.
Well, there would be. Think about it from the stance of, hey, I'm going to be a grandpa at the age of 80. Well, if I get to look 150 years into the future, I get to see what my great-great-great-grandchildren look like. Maybe I get to see what they're doing or where they're at in their life or where my kids go from this point forward. Now, maybe not my kids because, no, that wouldn't make sense because your kids would only be roughly 30 years younger than you. But, yeah, you get to see, your family tree a little bit. I don't see the advantage of looking 10 minutes ahead. What's the advantage of looking 10 minutes ahead?
You're going to know who wins the game.
Yeah, I guess. So maybe for sports betting purposes?
Yes, exactly.
All right. You know what?
For
Good
in the moment, and you can just continue to do that.
Hey, good point. But how about this? Take this, for example. What about if you knew the Powerball numbers 150 years ahead and you just left a note and you told them to pass it down from generation to generation?
You can do that 10 minutes in advance. You go in at 9:50 on a Saturday.
You could. Man, and you could win a lot more at 10 minutes. You're convincing me, Shane. But I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to say I want to see what my great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren look like.
Would you rather team up with Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel?
Both studs. Wonder Woman.
Why? Because of the invisible jet?
Heck yeah. I don't know. Let's see.
The lasso?
Wonder Woman. This is gonna be something. So you look at Wonder Woman, and wasn't she portrayed? Was that? I could be wrong. Okay. Wonder Woman was portrayed by who? Gadot?
Yep.
Right.
It was her. Mm-hmm. She was in the Justice League. All of that.
Captain Marvel was. Oh, what's her name? Oh man, Brie Larson. Thank you.
She does those car commercials now.
Yes, she does.
The problem with Captain Marvel is she likes to just fly away and be gone for like a year or two.
Yeah, think about it. She
likes to fly to the other side of the universe.
So we teaming up here? So if we're in a battle, is Captain Marvel just going to leave me hanging?
Captain Marvel might. Or it might take her like a year to get there.
Or is this a hypothetical scenario where you are like their partner in life? And is it partner in crime or partner in life? Because even still, Brie Larson, if she's going to escape and just run off, then I'd want to stick with Wonder Woman, right?
I think you're right.
All right.
Would you rather be in jail for 5 years or be in a coma for a decade?
Ooh. I don't really want to go to jail, but I don't want to lose out on 10 years.
But that's 5 years in jail. I mean, that's a long time.
It's a long time, yeah. I mean, well, do the math on that, Shaner. That's like, what, 1,500 days, maybe more? Well, yeah, because it would be more. Because 1,500 would be just 300 days. So you're looking at, like, close to 1,600 days in jail. To put me in a coma. At least I have people, like, tending to me and, like, my loved ones.
You seem very hurt right now. You gonna be all right?
Well, and why am I in jail, right? Like, did I do something horrible?
It doesn't say. I mean, you could be sitting at, was it just taxes or was it, like you said, something horrible?
Yeah. I think, you know what? Well, now, if I was in jail, though, like Neil Caffrey from White Collar was in jail for forgery, maybe I become a criminal consultant for, like, the FBI, and now I'm out of jail and have a job and still have my family. If that's the route, if I could be a criminal consultant, I'd go to jail.
Let's do a few more here. Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life?
I would rather give up.
Give them nothing!
I would rather give up. Oh, man. I would say air conditioning and heating. Because couldn't I just go into, like, somebody else's establishment if I needed warmth?
You know, just like go to work?
Yeah. Like, I would just have to sleep at work. But I
could you imagine sleeping here?
That would be nuts. That would be nuts. I got to tell you, though, I could not do my job without the internet. I couldn't do my job proficiently without the internet, I should say.
You couldn't make your bets.
I could not make my bet, you're right.
So you're giving up.
I'm giving up
air conditioning
and heating. And I thought about it, too, from, like, the stance of being in a car. Like, I could always roll down the windows if it's too hot.
Right.
Or I could just, put on a ton of clothes if I'm freezing.
You want to do a couple more here?
Yeah, let's do 2 more.
Okay. So would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef?
Personal maid. I like to cook. So I know a personal chef would make me bomb meals and probably better meals than I could cook, but I hate cleaning. I really do hate cleaning.
They could, would the personal chef be looking for, like, what your intake would be, like calories and all that kind of stuff?
I would assume so.
So you would still take the personal maid?
Yeah, I would still take the personal maid just because I would rather do all of that on my own because I enjoy cooking. I just don't enjoy cleaning at all.
Okay, so let's do one more. Would you rather vomit on your hero or have your hero vomit on you?
I would rather my hero vomit on me because what a story that would be. Say my hero is – gosh, well, I guess – what if is it too cliche to say my hero is my mom?
Oh, no.
So say –
No.
Well, then maybe in that case I'd rather puke on my mom because she would forgive me and I wouldn't want puke on me. But if my hero was like Ariana Grande – and she puked on me, what a story that would be to tell to people someday. Ariana Grande puked on me. This is the shirt. I sold it on the internet for $5,000. It's Ariana Grande's puke.
Oh, you'd make more than that.
Probably.
You'd make bank on that. You'd make so much money off of that, it'd be ridiculous.
You're absolutely right.
Somebody would snarf that up in a heartbeat.
Shaner, what would you do? Would you rather puke on your hero, or would you rather have them puke on you? I don't really get grossed out by puke like a lot of people, so that wouldn't bother me all that much.
It depends upon the situation. Like, as in, am I going up and am I paying for paying to have the picture with them? Did I pay $50 and then did I just puke on him and did that get in the picture? I mean, that would be priceless right there.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. But is it, like if I'm at work and somebody comes in here and just pukes on me, do I want that? No.
Now tell me, who is your hero?
Like sports hero?
It's any hero. I mean, unless it's like your dad, and then we'll go sports hero.
Oh, my dad's awesome. I mean, you can put him up there.
Yeah, 100%. Parents are up there as heroes. So
yeah, and so's my mom.
Let's do Let's do like I guess I should say my dad too. I shouldn't just factor in my mom. My dad's probably at home listening to this episode right now and thinking, what the heck? What about me?
And, of course, I've always had a teacher, whether it be in college or high school or whatever, that you kind of always looked up to. You've always had a coach that you've looked up to. So the heroes are kind of, they're in many shapes and forms, and they come along frequently, which is great. So I'm blessed in that stance.
So who is your hero then?
I wouldn't want to put anybody out there in particular, because I wouldn't want to put anybody over anybody else.
Well, give me a sports person then, because at least you don't have any like real personal connection to them. Like a teacher you do, but like a sports hero.
A sports hero, I was always really thought that Joe Montana was.
I said Joe Montana.
Was the guy that if there was ever anybody to lead my team, it would have been him if I could have just chose him.
Yeah, so see Joe Montana puking on you, that'd be an awesome story.
That would be great. I would be down for that.
That'd be an awesome story. That's Shaner. Would you rather questions.
You know what I would say to him afterwards?
Yeah.
And that's totally on me.
It is. It is totally on you, both figuratively and probably literally, because he probably puked because he's like, wow, I can't believe.
You know what else I would say?
It's exciting.
Then you know what I would say after that?
I don't even recognize what we're doing.
I was going to say he probably couldn't believe he actually hit his target. Joe Montana is just like overlooking you.
The first thing I would say to him is,
What's that?
And then he'd puke on me. That'd be great.
That is the morning dump. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we have DB back in the chair next to me. We wish him all the best in his short, what would you say, just short recovery? Nothing like major, like
just
crazy.
out for a day.
Yeah, just out for a day type of thing. You can catch us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The morning dump's daily, as is yours, as is mine, as we all know. You just never know what you're going to get before you wipe on this show. We'll see you tomorrow.